What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. If you don't know me, my name is David. It's nice to meet you. If you love the video, like it. If you hate the video, dislike it. Either way, let me know why in the comments. Today we're here to discuss Kanye's most recent Manic episode. And I want to discuss it from a different perspective that everybody else is. A lot of people are criticizing him. A lot of people, are parting ways with him because nobody wants their image associated with what he's doing. But I feel like as a society, we kind of owe it to ourselves, and especially as black people, we kind of owe it to ourselves to really take a look at this and say, are we neglecting mental health as a whole? Because really Kanye is showing us a textbook example of somebody on a bipolar, like a hypomanic or a manic episode. And it's like, I feel like the criticism is warranted because some of the stuff he's saying, the anti-Semitic stuff he's saying, some of the wild shit he's saying, yeah, it's crazy. But we also had to take a look at why we don't take mental health seriously, because we really don't, especially black people. But I would say overall society, but most especially black people, we really aren't taking mental health seriously. And we can look right there at Kanye, and instead of criticizing him, like, the man really needs some help, because if you look at a lot of the stuff he does, it's typical of mania. And I was talking to my psychiatrist because I found out I'm bipolar, albeit not to the extreme that he is, or maybe I am, maybe I just don't have the same factors involved. But like, if you look at it, like, it's funny because I voted for Kanye for president. I mean, I'm from Louisiana. I figured, Biden wasn't going to win Louisiana. And I saw Kanye on there, and I just, honestly, I couldn't help myself, bro. I couldn't do it. I couldn't help myself. I voted for Kanye for president. But one of the hallmark symptoms of bipolar is grandiose ideas. And I got to thinking, stuff like running for president, starting this political campaign and running for president. I saw an article or a news headline the other day that Kanye wants to build a Yako system. I guess that's what you call it, a Yako system, where he's going to build his own miniature city. And all of that is like textbook symptoms of bipolar. And that's on to the next point. I talked to my doctor the other day, and he was just elaborating to me how bipolar people are the least compliant when it comes to taking medicine. And since I've been told that I'm bipolar, I see why. Because if you think about it, I was discussing with the psychiatrist. He was saying that a lot of the accomplishments that Kanye has made, he probably made during manic episodes. Like, when he was doing Donda or whatever, before Drake released Certified Lover Boy, like, he had locked himself in the arena, like all these grandiose, huge, crazy, eccentric things. I think it's easy to get attached to those things and only see the good, because first of all, people don't talk about mental health in general. But until they told me I was bipolar, I didn't even know what it was. But now that I think about it, some of the best stuff I've ever accomplished in my life was from obsession from manic episodes. And you can see how the obsession is there. Like, when you see him lock himself in that arena during Donda, like, you can see how he's obsessed. He's literally obsessed, and he's got this grandiose idea, and you can just see how the mania has really fueled him to accomplish things that he wouldn't have been able to accomplish had he be a normal person. But I understand why he probably doesn't want to take the medicine, because he feels like that all goes away when he's medicated. But it's like, look at all the bad shit that mania brings with it. All the crazy stuff he's doing now that the mania brings with it. And like I said, I want to segue into this because I feel like the black community does not take mental health seriously, and we feel like you can just brush anything off and you can just soldier through it and you don't have to worry about it. I feel like we feel like mental health is not a real thing. And I'm like basically learning, and like, I'm here to say I can kind of relate to Kanye. Maybe not on the same level, but it's starting to all make sense. Like that one song where he's like, I am a god. I understand why he feels that way, because he's got this grandiose sense of self when he goes into these manic episodes, and I feel the same way sometimes. But I think the money and the influence that he has as a person greatly fuels it. And I think we owe it to ourselves not to just discuss all the fucked up shit he's saying, but to discuss this from a mental health perspective and why this is bad and why we should be concerned about this, because we should really be concerned for this man's health. I'm not giving him a pass. I don't want to give him a pass. You can't give him a pass because he's still a competent grown man, I would assume. Even though he is going wild right now, he's still completely competent and somewhat in his right mind. So you can't give him a pass for anything he said. But I think just piling on to the man is just really not it. Because he's really going through like a sickness right now. And, a lot of people have that. They just don't feel like they're God because they don't have $1 billion and all the influence in the world. When you put into scope in the perspective of when you put into perspective, especially when he was married to Kim Kardashian, like how much influence that they have, how much money and power that they have, and then you mix in a manic episode with that, I honestly, it's all starting to make sense to me why Kanye feels like he's God. Like, he's not joking when he's like, I'm God. I'm Yeezus. Like, his ego is so inflated that he thinks he is actually God. And I think that's something that we should discuss more than just on the surface of what Kanye is doing. All I can speak for is the black community. It's time for the black community to start taking mental health seriously, because we just are not. We just see people depressed and anxious or whatever, and we just are telling them, get over it. We feel like, especially the older generation, the Gen X's and the boomers, like, they feel like, we went through tougher times, like, get over it. And that's the worst thing you can tell somebody who's in a condition like that, is to just get over it, or try to over explain to them why everything is actually okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to just be explaining to them why everything is actually okay, and just making people feel like they're crazy. But that's all I had to say for today. If you love the video, like it. If you hate the video, dislike it. Either way, let me know in the comments. And if you want to comment, leave something about mental health, bro, because I feel like Kanye is struggling, and for the most part, mostly nobody gives a fuck. Most people just want to make a headline off of him, off some crazy shit he said, which is fair. But let me know what y'all think in the comments.